Amy Duggar, a relative of the famous Duggar family known from 19 Kids and Counting, has spoken out again, this time through a preview of Season 2 of the Amazon Prime docuseries Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. In the newly released trailer for the upcoming season, Amy Duggar addresses a subject she describes as a teenage holy war that allegedly affected many youths within the religious environment in which she and her cousins were raised. The trailer highlights key moments, interviews, and critical points that suggest Season 2 will continue to expand on the themes of control, fear, religious extremism, and the lasting effects of these experiences on former members and participants. The phrase teenage holy war appears to refer to the internal and external pressure placed on adolescents to conform to religious and moral ideals prescribed by the leadership of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, an organization founded by Bill Gothard. This organization served as the foundational belief system for the Duggar family and many of their acquaintances, influencing lifestyle choices, behavior, education, gender roles, and interpersonal relationships. Amy Duggar's participation in the series has drawn attention largely because she was never a core cast member on 19 Kids and Counting, but still had visibility through extended appearances. Unlike some of her relatives, Amy lived a less restrictive lifestyle and often expressed views that diverged from the strict teachings promoted within IBLP. This contrast gives her commentary a unique perspective for viewers trying to understand the differences in outcomes among individuals raised under similar religious teachings. In the trailer, Amy discusses how the youth in her circle were spiritually weaponized and often pitted against each other through programs and teachings that demanded extreme forms of obedience, modesty, and purity. The phrase teenage holy war is used as a metaphorical description of the ideological and behavioral expectations imposed upon teenagers, suggesting a culture of surveillance, judgment, and rivalry, often under the guise of spiritual development. The second season of Shiny Happy People aims to go further than the first season by exploring how the teachings of the IBLP were implemented within various families and institutions. It also brings in new testimonies from individuals who were previously unwilling or unable to speak publicly about their experiences. The trailer features several clips that allude to how these teachings infiltrated education, dating practices, and family dynamics, often shaping the worldview of young people well into adulthood. Amy Duggar's contribution to the upcoming episodes is anticipated to provide deeper personal insights into how non-conforming members of the Duggar family experienced the contrast between mainstream societal norms and the rigid framework dictated by their family's belief system. She describes how emotional manipulation and spiritual fear were often employed to enforce behavioral standards, including dress codes, communication restrictions, and gender hierarchy. In addition to Amy Duggar, other voices featured in the trailer include former IBLP members, educators, and survivors of similar religious environments. Their collective goal appears to be the exposure of systemic issues they believe were rooted in religious authoritarianism masked as family values or spiritual protection. These individuals claim that the impact of such teachings continues to affect them long after they have left those environments. The trailer also suggests that the series will revisit allegations and controversies surrounding Bill Gothard, including previous reports of misconduct and abuse of power. Although Gothard has denied allegations of inappropriate behavior and was never criminally charged, his departure from IBLP in 2014 amid public scrutiny has not quelled ongoing discussions about the legacy of his teachings. These teachings, which focused on male authority, female submission, and absolute parental control, are central to the docuseries' critique. While Amy Duggar's remarks are notable for their personal tone, the trailer positions them within a broader social and cultural critique. She emphasizes that although she was not raised as conservatively as her cousins, she still witnessed and was affected by the atmosphere that permeated their family and the religious community. Her account attempts to bridge the gap between insider knowledge and outsider observation, offering commentary that supports the docuseries' ongoing analysis of religious control structures. According to statements made during promotional interviews, producers of Shiny Happy People are committed to showcasing stories that emphasize healing, accountability, and awareness. They argue that shedding light on these hidden dynamics allows former members to reclaim their narratives and validate the experiences of others who may still be in similar situations. The second season is said to include more archival footage, detailed explanations of doctrine, and interviews with experts in theology, psychology, and sociology. Amy Duggar's term "teenage holy war" resonates throughout the trailer and serves as a thematic symbol for the internal conflict faced by adolescents attempting to live up to unrealistic spiritual expectations. The trailer also implies that viewers will gain insight into how these belief systems contributed to cycles of shame, secrecy, and emotional suppression. These insights are expected to contribute to a deeper understanding of the lasting impact of high-control religious groups. The trailer further indicates that the second season will investigate how these issues affect generational dynamics. It explores whether individuals who grew up in these environments are continuing the same patterns with their children or breaking away from them entirely. The trailer shows glimpses of individuals who have transitioned to more liberal belief systems or left organized religion altogether as part of their healing process. One segment of the trailer reveals interviews with educators who describe how homeschooling under IBLP guidelines prioritized religious indoctrination over academic development. According to former students, this educational structure limited critical thinking and often isolated children from alternative perspectives. Amy Duggar references the confusion and frustration that many teens experienced when attempting to reconcile the limited information they received with the broader world they eventually encountered. The use of the phrase "teenage holy war" also calls attention to the peer policing that took place within the community. Young people were reportedly encouraged to monitor and report each other's behavior to adults, reinforcing a system of control and mistrust. Amy Duggar discusses how this environment could destroy friendships and create an atmosphere of fear rather than spiritual growth. These dynamics are reported to have caused emotional scars that remain even in adulthood. The trailer also touches on courtship practices endorsed by IBLP, which were portrayed by some families as biblical alternatives to dating. Critics argue that these practices restricted personal autonomy, especially for young women, by placing romantic decisions in the hands of parents or spiritual leaders. Amy Duggar contrasts her own approach to relationships with what her cousins experienced, noting that even seemingly small decisions like wearing pants, listening to certain music, or speaking to peers could lead to significant consequences. Additionally, Amy Duggar discusses the theme of image control, both publicly and privately. She suggests that there was immense pressure to present a flawless spiritual front to outsiders, even while dealing with internal struggles and family dysfunction. The trailer implies that maintaining this image often came at the cost of authenticity, mental health, and emotional expression. As part of the broader commentary, the trailer highlights the tension between religious liberty and psychological harm. Several experts in the upcoming season are expected to address the line between faith-based education and coercive control. They explore how organizations can maintain a veneer of religious freedom while fostering environments that may limit personal choice and suppress dissenting views. Amy Duggar's role in Season 2 underscores a broader pattern of individuals within the Duggar family and similar circles who are beginning to speak out. Her willingness to participate in this series reflects a shift toward openness, and perhaps a desire to use her platform to advocate for those who may still feel silenced or misunderstood. She does not claim to represent everyone's experience, but emphasizes the importance of listening to those who are ready to share. The trailer closes with an emphasis on reclaiming truth, validating survivors, and promoting conversations about spiritual harm, recovery, and accountability. Viewers are encouraged to critically examine institutions that wield religious authority and to consider the long-term effects of doctrines that prioritize submission over individual agency. Season 2 of Shiny Happy People is scheduled to premiere with a new set of episodes that delve even deeper into these themes, promising further insight into the lives affected by the teachings and practices of IBLP and similar groups. In summary, Amy Duggar's reference to a teenage holy war in the Shiny Happy People Season 2 trailer introduces a symbolic framework that captures the conflict experienced by many young people raised in high-control religious environments. Her perspective, along with those of other participants, builds on the groundwork laid in Season 1 and aims to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the cultural and emotional consequences of these belief systems. The new season invites reflection on issues of identity, freedom, and the process of healing from religious trauma, making it a continuation of a broader social conversation on faith, family, and control. Joanna Duggar Forsyth, a member of the Duggar family known from the reality TV shows 19 Kids and Counting On, publicly reflected on the deep emotional impact of her stillbirth experience. In 2019, Joanna and her husband, Austin Forsyth, suffered the loss of their second child, a daughter they named Annabelle Elise. The couple revealed that they learned of Annabelle's passing at 20 weeks gestation during a routine anatomy scan. This loss affected Joanna profoundly, and she has since spoken out about her emotional state in the aftermath. Joanna explained that she entered a prolonged period of grief following the stillbirth. According to her, the first 6 months after Annabelle's passing felt like being in a fog. She described a sense of disconnection from herself and the world around her. The emotional trauma of losing a baby mid-pregnancy was something she admitted she had not fully anticipated. Despite growing up in a large family where pregnancy and childbirth were common experiences, this kind of loss presented an entirely different reality. She emphasized that there is no set timeline for grieving the loss of a child. For Joanna, the emotional recovery process took longer than she initially expected. She noted that certain triggers, including seeing other babies or pregnant women, would resurface her pain. There were days when she felt more functional and days when she felt consumed by sorrow. Joanna pointed out that grieving is not a linear process, and for her, navigating this grief came with many ups and downs. Annabelle Elise's name was carefully chosen by Joanna and Austin. The name Annabelle means God has favored me, and Elise is derived from Elizabeth, meaning God is my oath. For Joanna and Austin, naming their stillborn daughter was a way to acknowledge her life and create a lasting memory. The naming process was an important emotional step that gave them a small sense of peace during such a tragic time. In sharing her story, Joanna explained how she and Austin turned to their faith and each other to process the loss. She mentioned how important it was to be surrounded by supportive people, including family members and friends, who allowed her to grieve at her own pace. Joanna also shared that she leaned heavily on scripture and prayer during those difficult months. She clarified that grief does not simply vanish after a few weeks or months. In fact, it took her many months before she felt like herself again. During the first half year following Annabelle's passing, she often found herself emotionally numb, unable to fully engage in life or celebrate other milestones. She acknowledged that while life did move forward around her, her own internal state remained frozen in the moment of loss. Joanna opened up about the emotional complications that came with seeing other pregnancies or announcements. She confessed that, even though she wanted to feel happy for others, it often reminded her of what she had lost. She emphasized that jealousy was not the dominant emotion, rather, it was a mix of longing, sadness, and heartache that she had not expected to feel so acutely. She expressed that while others seemed to move on, she remained tethered to her grief. Over time, Joy-Anna said that small moments of peace began to return. She recounted how little things, like watching the sunset, reading scripture, or simply holding hands with her husband, brought comfort. She credited Austin with being an unwavering source of support, saying that their shared grief created a deeper bond between them, even though they each processed the experience differently. She also shared that talking openly about the experience was part of her healing journey. Joy-Anna believes in the value of breaking the silence around pregnancy loss, especially because so many women experience it in isolation. By choosing to be vocal about their experience, she hoped to offer support to other women who may be facing similar grief. She frequently emphasized that there is no right way to grieve, and that each person must navigate their own path. In various updates over time, Joy-Anna shared that she and Austin created keepsakes to remember Annabelle. They kept sonogram photos, a special blanket, and other memorabilia. These items helped them feel closer to their daughter. Joy-Anna stated that memorializing Annabelle wasn't about holding on to pain, but rather about acknowledging her existence and honoring her memory. She believed it was important that Annabelle's life, though brief, be remembered. Joy-Anna also explained how the experience changed her perspective on motherhood. She stated that she now approaches pregnancy and parenthood with a deeper sense of awareness and appreciation. Every moment with her living children felt more fragile and valuable after her loss. She expressed gratitude for her sons Gideon and Gunnar, acknowledging that her grief for Annabelle coexists with her love for her other children. She said that one does not cancel out the other. Joy-Anna spoke about her faith journey through grief. She recalled asking God difficult questions and struggling with doubts in the months after the stillbirth. However, she noted that ultimately her belief in God's sovereignty gave her comfort. She accepted that while she may never fully understand the reason for Annabelle's passing, she could still trust that God had a purpose, even in suffering. This mindset helped her move forward gradually. She encouraged others facing similar losses to give themselves grace. According to Joy-Anna, the pressure to bounce back or return to normal quickly can be damaging. She emphasized that grief requires patience, self-compassion, and time. She advised others not to suppress their feelings or feel ashamed of emotional vulnerability. Instead, she encouraged honesty, whether that meant crying in private or expressing pain openly. In later interviews and social media posts, Joy-Anna shared that she occasionally still experiences waves of grief. Annabelle's birthday, holidays, and other milestones continue to be difficult. However, she has developed coping mechanisms to face those moments with peace and remembrance, rather than overwhelming sorrow. She expressed that healing is ongoing, and there is no defined endpoint to the process. Joy-Anna also credited her community with playing a vital role in her recovery. She mentioned that being surrounded by people who understood, even if they hadn't experienced the same loss, gave her the space to heal. She especially appreciated those who listened without trying to fix her feelings or rush her progress. This kind of support, she noted, was more helpful than any advice or solution. She has since become a more vocal advocate for pregnancy loss awareness. On Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day and other similar observances, Joy-Anna has posted messages of solidarity with other grieving mothers. She emphasized that remembering children like Annabelle matters, and that talking about stillbirths and miscarriages helps dismantle the stigma and silence that often surrounds such losses. Joy-Anna acknowledged that grieving mothers are sometimes told to move on or try again, as if a new pregnancy could erase the pain of the previous loss. She stated that while she is thankful for her children born after Annabelle, nothing replaces the child she lost. Each child is unique and deeply loved in their own right, and the pain of losing one is not softened by the birth of another. She explained that going through such an experience helped her better understand the emotional resilience required to process profound loss. It gave her empathy for other grieving families and taught her how to be a better support system to others facing similar hardship. Joy-Anna said that, in hindsight, she wished there had been more open conversations about the emotional aftermath of pregnancy loss. Despite the pain, Joy-Anna expressed that she found new strength and perspective through her grief. She learned to accept that emotions like sadness, longing, and confusion could coexist with joy and hope. She said that the ability to feel all of those things at once was not a contradiction, but rather a reflection of love's complexity. Loving Annabelle did not end with her passing, it simply took on a different form. As she continues to share her story, Joy-Anna emphasizes that no one should feel rushed through their grief or made to feel like they are doing it wrong. Her message remains consistent. There is no set timeline for healing, and each journey is deeply personal. She remains open about the fact that some days are still difficult, but she now feels more equipped to face them. In speaking publicly about the loss of Annabelle, Joy-Anna has become a voice of comfort to others in mourning. She does not claim to have all the answers, but she offers her story as a reminder that no one is alone. Her openness has encouraged other women to share their own stories, creating a space of mutual understanding and compassion. The loss of Annabelle Elise left a permanent mark on Joy-Anna's heart. While the initial months were shrouded in fog and sorrow, she has emerged with a greater capacity for empathy, faith, and emotional strength. She continues to honor Annabelle's memory through intentional reflection, open dialogue, and ongoing advocacy. Through the years, she has kept Annabelle's memory alive within her family. Joy-Anna and Austin speak of her with their children and keep her presence acknowledged in meaningful ways. While the grief will never completely disappear, it has evolved. Joy-Anna's journey shows that healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means remembering with love, living with purpose, and giving space to every emotion along the way. This chapter of Joy-Anna's life has reshaped her identity as a mother, a woman of faith, and an advocate for loss awareness. Her experience illustrates the depth of a parent's love, even for a child they could not raise, and her voice remains one of many helping to redefine how society understands and supports pregnancy loss. Through her honesty, she continues to shed light on a deeply personal and often unspoken pain, reminding others that healing is possible even when there's no set timeline.